So I take that bus ride and I get off in front of the school, Notre Dame, and I walk up the sidewalk and I don't see anybody who looks like me. Because see, I didn't know what I was going to encounter here. I didn't know then that I was going to be the only black in the whole school. And I walk up the sidewalk, I have on my uniform, which back then was a blazer and a skirt and a blouse and the freshman beanie. And I walk up this sidewalk and I don't see anybody that looks like me. In fact, I don't see anybody that's even friendly. You know, they're all standing in their groups because you got to remember they had all gone to elementary school together. But I came in, I was afraid, I was 13, didn't know anybody, in a strange environment, didn't look like anything I had seen before. But this is where I was going to go. And so I walked up the steps and up the ramp and got in line and followed the directions and went to class. And from the very first, I went to homeroom, and the homerooms were in alphabetical order. They were organized in alphabetical order. And I knew it was going to be an experience because they were not pleased to see me. They did not welcome me, or the kids didn't respond to me being here. And went through that first day of school feeling even more afraid and alone. And the decision my mom made was that I would walk home because there wasn't a bus that coordinated with my leaving. So down the sidewalk and on my way home. And the school buses are all leaving and they're yelling to me out the window, you know, go back to Africa. I was even more afraid then and didn't want to come back the next day, but I had little choice. Hi, my name is Barbara Mooring, and I'm here back at Notre Dame High School. Are you going to ask me questions, or am I just talking?
You're just talking.
I'm just talking. Okay, well, I'm back here at Notre Dame High School where I was a student back in the early 60s. Before I came to Notre Dame, I went to a small school in the city of Trenton. It was a Catholic school, Our Lady of Divine Shepherd. And in fact, I'd been in Catholic school my whole life. And then we moved, oh well, I'm just kind of rambling here, so let me back up a little. I lived in Philadelphia, then we came here to Lawrence, and I went to school in Trenton, Our Lady of Divine Shepherd, which was a black Catholic elementary school. And from there, my mother decided that I should come to Notre Dame. Her exact words were, you're not going to go past a perfectly good high school, meaning Notre Dame, to go to the school in Trenton, which was Cathedral. And I wanted to go there in the worst way, but she said no. And so I came to Notre Dame, where in 1959, there were just 3 classes, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. The school had just recently opened, and I was the only black student in the entire school. I had been in Our Lady of Divine Shepherd, and that's where all my friends were. And they were all going to go to Cathedral, you know, and the girls, it was a Catholic girls' high school at that time. And I wanted to go and be with my friends. And I wanted to be where there was some connection with the boys. And the boys all went to Trenton Catholic and the girls went to Cathedral, and I was going to be with my friends, and I thought it was just going to be wonderful. But my mother said no, and I quote, I'm not going to let you go past a perfectly good high school to go to Cathedral. And so I came to Notre Dame. I lived maybe 10 minutes from here, and I'd get up in the morning and catch the bus and come to Notre Dame. The first year was clearly the worst. Few people after a while did begin to acknowledge me and speak to me, but it wasn't until I came back, I think, for my sophomore year, that it almost seemed to me that people were saying, well, we can't get rid of her, so we'll just have to deal with it. And I continued to stay here until I graduated in 1963. And you know, over time things got better. I joined the school play, I was a hall proctor, I got involved with the Future Teachers of America Club, and I just made do. I survived, and things got better. I guess one of my kind of memories, you know, that stick in my head was the freshman tea dance. And everybody had to go, and you had to dance, and you had to wear white gloves, and nobody wanted to dance with me. And they had to force someone to dance with me, which was not comfortable for him or for me. And then I remember the prom and the senior class trip, you know, and even by then I didn't feel like I truly belonged here or was accepted, but I made do.
Here is Peggy Brennan in 1965 when I graduated. When I was here with Barbara Strange, as she was, that was her name in 1963. I was a little bit younger, and she was the first African American and only first African American student here. I never thought it was a big deal. It never bothered me that she was here. Sometimes I maybe would think how she felt being surrounded at that time probably by about 1,400 other students that were all Caucasians. But I do remember her well and hope that she had as good a time at Notre Dame High School as I did.
So this is the hallway in Notre Dame High School where I was a hall proctor. Things were very regimented, and there were lots of rules and control back in the early 60s. And I would stand in this hallway. And the rule was when you came out of the classroom, you always went to your right. So you come out of the door and you go to the right, you make a U-turn, and come back down. Even if the classroom was right across the hall. And my job as hall room proctor was to stand in the middle of this hallway and make sure that nobody cut across. There'd be about 3 of us positioned in this hallway. And, control, regulations, routine, discipline, that was life at Notre Dame. Your skirts couldn't be above your knee, and the nuns would come and make you kneel down, and if your skirt didn't touch the floor, you'd be in big trouble. I have lots of memories of Notre Dame. Some good, some not so good, because I'm a survivor. I graduated in '63, didn't really want to go to college. I think I was tired of school. I was tired of the 4 years here. But again, you know, my mother said no, and so I went off to Rider College after I left here. So I didn't get back to college until many years later, where I went off to Mercer County Community College and then Trenton State College. Got a degree in elementary education, a BS. Started teaching, but in between there, I managed to get married and have 3 children. But teaching was the love of my life. I taught for 4 years in Trenton at Woodrow Wilson Elementary School, and I just loved it. I loved the kids. I loved everything about teaching, except the pay. And by the time I was in my 4th year, I was separated and 3 children and just not quite making enough on a teacher's salary. So I went off to the world of corporate America, where I spent the next I don't know, 20 years or so, you know. Had many opportunities, worked for Education Testing Service for a while, went on to become the clerk of the New Jersey General Assembly, the lottery director for the state of New Jersey, and just on and on, always finding the next challenge to be exciting, you know. And so really when I look back on my experience at Notre Dame, I know that those 4 years of being here and hanging out with these kids really prepared me for the real world. gave me the skills necessary to function and be successful in a world where very few people looked like me, and to have what I consider to be, a great deal of success. And I owe it, I know that now, to those kids at Notre Dame who were not so nice to me in the beginning and who really didn't want me around, and I survived because I'm a survivor. Let's fast forward. It's the 40th high school reunion, 2003. We're in Trenton at the Marriott Hotel, high school reunion. And someone goes up to the mic and makes a public apology to me for the way they had treated me during those years here at Notre Dame. And I was grateful. I realized at that moment, or maybe sometime before, how we were all the product of our environment, and they didn't know me, they didn't know anything about me, and they were not prepared. And we survived those 4 years, and we went on to become adults and reflected. I guess they were reflecting back, at the reunion, and realized just how they had treated me, and what they may have considered a disservice, but as I said earlier, really prepared me for life in this society after Notre Dame. So all in all, a good experience.